Hey, this is Dr. David Powers here in beautiful Surfside Beach, South Carolina. Just hanging out in my office today. It's a nice, beautiful Monday in the first Monday after Thanksgiving. Beautiful weather. I mean, you could go out on the beach in shorts if you wanted to. It's just absolutely beautiful. But I'm here in the office, just trying to get caught up on some paperwork. I got some projects that I want to get wrapped up before the end of the year. And, there's a few things like that. But the reason I'm here with you right now is because I wanted to play something for you. And this something that I want to play is actually from a friend of mine, Dan Miller. And for those of you that have been reading my blog for any amount of time, you know that I am extremely, extremely fond of Dan Miller and the work he's done in Franklin, Tennessee. I mean, the man, he just creates some awesome stuff. And through Dan and the things he's done there, I've actually gotten connected with his son, Kevin Miller, and what he's doing in Colorado, and a few other things of that. Just a tremendous core of friends that I've developed by attending Dan's classes, by staying in touch with Dan, and of course by reading his books. I mean, the guy's written probably half a dozen at least books, and keeps an active podcast, things like that. And he actually talked about me on the podcast, and I got to tell you, I was extremely, extremely proud and surprised by that, because Dan is not one that is just going to throw out compliments just to throw them out there. He's not going to say things about people he doesn't believe in, or talk about him in such a wonderful way. And so what I wanted to do, and I hope it's okay with Dan if he sees this, I just wanted to play the little segment where Dan talked about me, and just to try to impart a sense of the pride that I was feeling because of that. And then I'll tell you a little bit more about Dan and how to get in touch with him, and how to utilize and find his products if you'd like to. So first, let me go ahead and play this first segment for you.
Dr. David Powers, who is a member of our 48 Days community. He's attended multiple live events here at the Sanctuary in Franklin, Tennessee. He has multiple businesses up and running. But one of the things, also, he's kind of high on my list because he heard me talk. I talk often about the impact of the little audio recording, The Strangest Secret, and what an impact that made on me as a little farm kid when I was about 13 years old. And I said that over the years, I lost track of that, don't know where it was. It was a little 45 RPM size, but with a small hole in the center, 33 RPM. Remember those? I mean, yes, it really was that. Well, Dr. David Powers found one out there in its original, container and everything, purchased it, had it framed for me, and I hang it proudly in my office. So anyway, he's been a longtime friend of the 48 Days community and mine personally. Just an interesting guy and the things that he does. Here's an update from him. And it's just, I love this kind of stuff. Hey, Dan, after reading your Friday update, I wanted to put my name in the mix for highlighting those of us who mix work and play so much they seem the same. I just flew out to Utah to purchase a comic book collection and drove it home in a moving truck. The purchase included over 40,000 books and collectibles, which makes me the owner of the largest private comic book collection in South Carolina. The work part? Yeah, I had to drive an overloaded moving truck cross country. I'm cataloging them for resale. My numbers are looking at tripling the purchase price. The play part, I got to drive cross country. Again, I'm also a geek at heart, so getting the chance to lay hands on all these comics is a dream. I sold my first collection to pay for undergraduate college, so this is almost like getting it all back again. Even with the profit I hope to make, I'll still be pulling quite a few significant comics from this batch for my personal collection. I wrote about it in my blog, and Dr. David Powers' blog. It's Embrace the Disaster or Stay Home and Cry. But you can Google that and find that. Read his story about buying 40,000 comic books. I just think that that's the coolest thing. Now, the principle is pretty easy to understand. I mean, if you go to the grocery store and buy a bushel, or go to the farmer's market and buy a bushel of apples, you can then go to a football game and sell them. Let's say you bought a bushel of apples, and it's...
Now, that's basically just a little preview of that blog or that podcast from Dan. And if you want to look it up, the best way to find Dan and all of his product and his podcast and everything is to go to 48days.com. That's the numeral 48days.com. And actually, if you want to find out the rest of or listen to the rest of this podcast, it's really good. This is the October 26, 2012 podcast from Dan. And you can actually go on his website there and find all of his previous podcasts, sign up for the new ones, and be sure to sign up for his newsletters and subscribe to the 48 Days Network. Dan is one of those guys that the minute you become a part of the community, there's no shortage of good things you'll get from that. And so I highly suggest you get connected with Dan Miller. And also, hey, if you want to buy some comics, get in touch with me too. Thanks. This is Dr. Dave signing out, and I hope to see you again. We'll talk to you later.